Hey everybody, what is up? It is me, Sacred G. How are all of you doing? Hope all of you also have, I didn't mention this in the last video, but I hope you guys have had a great Halloween. Hope you guys are safe and checked your candy and all that stuff. So, Halloween's done. So today's topic is something I stumbled upon and I've heard about, here and there, and I kind of wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on this after thinking about it, and that is the topic concerning lying on your resume, and this is why I personally think that is the most stupidest fucking idea I think I've ever heard. Ever. Okay, so there's a lot of people saying that it is harder to get a job now for some reason, because I guess these people just want to think that, working at one place will equate to working at another. So, for an example, let's say you worked at a restaurant and then you try to get into engineering, because it pays well and all that stuff, or IT or whatever. That won't work because of two things. If that's why people are saying it's harder to get a job, I don't know. Most of the times, I will say from my own experiences that I think it's because, back when I was saying that it's harder to get a job, I don't think it's the case anymore because, well, it's mainly because I did or did not have the skill, or I did not have the skills for that particular job that they were looking for. And they also, people find better candidates and whatnot. It's a rat race, essentially. And it's not a bad thing. It's been a thing with the career lifestyle for a long time. And so why I think lying on your resume is just a complete dog shit idea is mainly because if you, let's say, successfully lie, right? Let's say you said you have skills you actually don't have. You said you know how to use a program. So you're getting an IT job, and you're, you said you know how to use a program, and you actually don't, or you know very little of, and it's to the point where you're asking around how to use it, which is an easy way to get caught, by the way. And let's say you do know how to, or you figured out how to use it, you looked it up and all that stuff. You do know that even if you were there for a year or two or several years and they find out you lied, you're gone. That experience you just made is useless now. You just wasted your life. Congratulations. Okay, and not only that, it will fuck your career up because of the fact that, if you did work there for even like a couple months or even a year at the longest, like that can that will actually waste your time because you will not be able to use that place as a reference again because of the fact that you lied. And if you tried saying that, oh, I worked here, here's my references, well, they'll tell that employer that, well, you fucking lied. And you know what will happen? They won't hire you because they'll have every reason in the world to not trust you. Okay, now some people, get away with it, and I'm not saying, don't exaggerate. I mean, exaggerating is another form of lying, but if you actually do know how to use a program because you actually worked with it for a while, but you just want to exaggerate saying that I know how to clear viruses and stuff like that. I don't know what you would exaggerate over in terms of something like that. That's all right, but you better back your shit up. I never had to do that. Like every job I've had, I've never felt the need to embellish or even lie. Exaggerate is only when I feel that I don't remember a certain part of what I did, because I remember back when I was getting a job at this meat cutting or packaging place, I remember very distinctively that they asked me how, this is the only time I exaggerated, they asked me how I deal with conflict with, my uppers and, my boss and stuff like that. And I never had a problem with that back at the place I worked at before, the meat packaging place, and it was kind of a weird question to me because I've never had that experience, because I get along, I'm a lucky guy, I get along with pretty much every one of my my bosses, so on and so on. I don't really usually tend to start shit, and I did exaggerate a little bit. I said I had to because they just kept trying to push that question on me. And it was weird, I will say that, but in the same vein, I didn't full on fucking lie. I didn't say, yeah, I've cut meat before. I know this, that, and the third. I just think it's a fucking stupid thing to do. And I think the reason jobs, this will just also be applied to this, the reason why I think people are saying jobs are harder to come by, and it applies to this because people will say, well, then that's why we lie. Because, jobs are harder to get nowadays. And it's like, I don't think that's the case. I just think you're trying to get a higher paying job without actually doing the education for it. So most of the times is what I see. If you actually know how to use it and you've, let's say, under the table worked with programs or, with certain tools and shit like that, then that's fine. I don't fucking care, but I just wouldn't say you should lie and make up, stories that you worked at some fucking company. I think that's complete bullshit, and I even think just lying, not even just lying about that, but lying about pretty much anything, how to use something when you don't, so you have to kind of study and know how it functions before you even start or the interview even happens, because they can figure that shit out, man. Technology today is phenomenal. It's a blessing and a curse, it's one of those things where it's a facepalm to me. It's like you can get caught. And why I brought up the technology is because they do extensive background checks, and especially higher paying places. And I'm not gonna lie, if I hear somebody or read something, if I read something in the comment section saying, well, it's worked for me, then that place must be shitty. And if you say something like, well, they knew I lied, I just proved myself, then that place is a shitty place to work. Because if it was a positive work environment, they would punish anybody. They don't give a fuck who it is. They don't play favorites. That's kind of dumb. I mean, dude, if they, and that's not just the background checks you should worry about. Let's say you get close to a fucking coworker and you tell them, I kind of exaggerated or lied, pretty much, to get here. Well, they could go and snitch, because guess what? If they actually didn't lie to get that job, they had the experience and their qualifications needed for the job, they'll be pissed with you. They'll think it's not fair that you pretty much got it handed to you on a fucking silver platter. And I think that is just one of the most fucking stupidest things I think I've ever heard in my fucking life. Don't lie on your resume. Be honest. If you need to exaggerate because, your memory, certain questions they asked you, it doesn't come together all in one piece, then that's fine. Just have it make sense and back your shit up. I don't mind. I don't think exaggerating is, during an interview or even a little bit on your resume is a bad thing. But for the most part, be 90 to 50%, no, be 90% honest, but exaggerate 10% of it. Because if you end up full on lying, as I said, extensive background checks, most of these higher paying places, which is why they're paying higher, because they can afford stuff like this, and they have the money, they can do extensive background checks and then check to see if you actually qualified or if anything you said was remotely true. And it's not only that. Imagine 50 to 50, not 50,000, but let's say a couple thousand people decided to lie on their resume. You know how fucking... You know how much you would fuck the people that actually got the education to do the job, or that, had the experience and the necessities and the qualifications to get the job and it was all legit. You know how many of those people you'd be fucking over? It would cause such a huge ass distrust in the career force that these people would just not be sympathized with. Most of the times I think these people are saying jobs are harder to get is because, and I've noticed this myself, is because you're applying to places that you don't meet the qualifications for. That's literal common career sense. And I've realized this the hard way, and yeah, I wasted my time waiting to get a job and all this shit. But now I found a career that can help me get into a better career, which thank God, and I'm lucky. in that department, and I had the experience necessary to get the job. I wasn't hired because my brother works with me. If you didn't know, I do work with my brother, and he helped out, but that's not why. The reason why is I told them I had painting experience, and what we do is somewhat similar to that. You know, like, I just think it's retarded. Just don't fucking lie on your stupid resume because you want a leg up over everybody else when you don't even have the qualifications to do so. I think it's stupid. You know, you can make yourself stand out. That's awesome. You can make yourself stand out. No one's gonna bat an eye to that. However, if you have to do it by lying, you're a sad individual to me. And if I was an employer, you would cause a huge distrust in not in the company, but in like just careers, period. And I know it affects the person individually, but you know how many people think once one or a couple people did it, they'll assume everybody does it, so they have to be paranoid about it. It's just stupid. Don't fucking lie on your resume. I don't think, like, I've seen videos on YouTube say, well, I'm a career expert, so I think that it's okay sometimes. So I don't think it's okay at all. And especially if, you know, the threat of you wasting your life pretty much working for somebody you won't be able to use as a reference is just ridiculous, you know? You know, I've never felt even the need to do that. And, you know, they say, well, jobs are harder to get. Well, you're a career expert. You should know why that is. It's because people are trying to apply for jobs they don't meet the qualifications for. And these people who are telling you that you need to lie, they're trying to cheat life. They even consider this a life or career life hack. Really? Do you know how many pissed off coworkers you would have if that was the news around the workplace? No one would save your ass in that job, especially the ones that did work to get to where they were at, instead of lying their way to the top. It's just weird. Anywho, goddamn. That's me, Sacred G. You know, don't lie on your resume. It is one of the dumbest things I think I've heard. It is okay to exaggerate certain skills as long as you could back them up. But in terms of just full-on lying, I don't even think it's okay sometimes. I think it's more of that you actually have to pretty much prove yourself and pretty much, like, imagine you would have to deal with the stress of them finding out every fucking day you come in. And that can affect your performance. You know, you'll be so worried and about getting found out that you lied, and then all of a sudden you don't have a job anymore, and you also don't have a reference to get into other fields it related to the one you were working at. Just don't lie. Anyways, it's me, Sacred G. Jesus Christ, some people are fucking stupid. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace the fuck out. And just remember to apply to places that make sense to the career choices you decided to make. Yeah, there's some exceptions, you know, like you working at McDonald's. Well, that can get you into the restaurant career. You get what I'm saying. You need to meet the qualifications to get the job, which is why people are having a hard time. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace the fuck out.